Are we muted? No, this means not muted.
That means we're not muted, right?
I think, maybe. Can we be heard? Is this even plugged in?
It is plugged in. There is a plug.
It does look like a plug.
There
it is. We see it now.
We saw the other DBs not moving.
I was like, the desktop audio is not working, but apparently we're working. So dope. Awesome.
The boys are taking over.
The boys are taking over. This is going to be the little pre-cafe chat here this still morning.
Yeah, it's still morning.
Yeah.
It ain't no afternoon.
Ain't no afternoon. I need my cup of coffee still. I haven't made it through. I'm on the cafe and
With
don't
no
have
coffee?
no coffee. I've immediately failed of Olivia.
Yeah, but I'm not a coffee drinker, to be honest. I like cold drinks. I believe that every drink is served better cold.
Every drink.
Every drink. List one hot drink. I'll give you a cold alternative.
Hot cocoa.
Chocolate milk's better.
Oh, I thought you meant like just the cold version. I was like, what, you're just gonna drink cold cocoa? Like, surely we're not
Just cold cocoa powder.
just some water and then just downing the packet. Oh my goodness. Oh.
But yeah, so we'll kind of just hang out, let you guys get all situated, get everything set up for our pre-chat here. Olivia was gracious enough to let Ben and I take over. You know, you see our faces on the Medicare Cafe Facebook group, so she wanted to see our faces here on Medicare Cafe again.
It's, gracious is an interesting word. It could
when
be
using it in conjunction with Olivia.
More so with the outcome of what she was trying to do is throw us into the fire that is the cafe. So hopefully it's not too big of a change for y'all. Hopefully
We're entertaining. We're
entertaining.
informative.
We're probably,
We're for sure entertaining.
I remember they all, the other co-hosts are definitely way like prettier than we are. Mm-hmm. But hopefully what we lack in looks, we make up in laughs.
And mustaches.
This is definitely true.
So that was something we were going to address because we both are supporting mustaches this month for Movember.
Can't really see mine. Truthfully, I am just a wee pea in the pod.
Just lean into the camera a little bit. You see that? It's there.
I swear. You just take my word for it.
But around the office, every year in November, we do our Movember charity where we raise money for cancer care, which is an organization that helped me out a lot when I had cancer. So it's super fun every year, pretty goofy. You'll see a bunch of mustaches around the office. It's just a good time. We play some games. Like last week, we played bingo, which is a very competitive game in our office.
Yeah, no, there was probably bloodshed, and rightfully so.
Blood and tears were definitely there.
I think the week before that was either draw or pin the mustache.
Yeah.
On one of our coworkers, so
yeah, you got to either creatively draw a mustache or you could pin the mustache on him. So that was a fun game.
That was a good one. And all of this is going towards an end goal. I think our goal for the office is $1,000, which we are very, very quickly closing in on, and we're not even halfway through the month yet. There is an extension goal of $1,500 where I will no longer have any of this. Oh, just with the hand change.
No. You're regretting this immediately.
I mean, it's good cause, right? It's for a good cause.
Yeah, so if we raise $1,500, Ben's going to shave his head. And I'm super excited to see that. And we crunched the numbers going into Movember. And I showed him, like, hey, this is what we raised last year. Where do you feel comfortable setting this? The second we announced it to the team, everyone was like, okay, cool. If we all split this up, it's only like $18 a piece, right?
They were like, I've already changed my paycheck to draw $15 per paycheck for the next month.
Yeah.
We'll hit it in no time. And I was like, oh, so I will be bald come December.
Yeah.
So what a way to kick off the end of the year. Yeah. Christmas will definitely feel different.
I'll buy you a stocking cap.
I'm going... Oh my goodness! I'll just wear a stocking cap.
Yeah, I
don't need a beanie. I'll just wear my stocking. That's genius. Well, we got a couple more minutes here before we go ahead and get started on the actual cafe. So we are in pre-cafe chats. Obviously, just a little section here where we like to catch up with one another, see if you guys have any questions that we might be able to answer. Kind of allow people time to get in, but also just have some fun with one another. And so one of the additional things that Clayton had mentioned a little bit earlier was the fact that we help run the Facebook group. So the Medicare Cafe Agents Facebook group page, you see his face way more. You see a lot of my graphic design style things, especially during AEP. But our whole goal with that group is just to have a place for agents to get good information.
Quickly.
Everyone knows that there's so many groups out there, and sometimes they're not always on top of it with their information.
Right.
I think that's the best way to say it.
I think we like to lean on being quick, being accurate, and being a positive environment.
100%.
So a lot of that we like to do is let you all kind of take over some of the conversations. You'll see us kind of replying back to chats and comments all the time too. But I love the posts where it's just an agent throwing out a question and then there's 4 or 5 other agents kind of chipping in on what they're helping out with. So always love to see that interaction. If you haven't gone and liked that Facebook page, please do. Because if we can blow up Medicare Cafe with viewers today, I did set up a lot of dummy accounts to get more views up.
Sure. I paid an absorbent amount of money to make sure bots. This is the most popular live stream, just to show, hey, the boys are in town, we got it. and we know what we're doing.
So if you haven't liked the YouTube page or subscribed there, make sure you do that. If you haven't gone over to the Facebook page and liked our Facebook page, please go do that. You'll get a lot of quick content, some videos, some good information. We try to get it out as soon as we get it. And we're always taking questions. So anytime you got questions, throw them on that Facebook page. It's a good way to kind of get other agents' perspective on things.
I would 100% agree. Liking both page and then requesting access to the group as well. Both of those are great ways to fill your Facebook feed with a bit more positive. I know we live in a world that's kind of crazy a little bit, so trying to find those times where things can be actually helpful, and that's what our goal is. So if you're not already a member, definitely consider joining. We would love to have you.
So we got a minute or 2 left.
Just a couple more.
Let's see. Okay, so we've addressed the mustaches. The mustache in the room.
Yep. Well, the mustaches?
The mustachios.
The mustache
Must-I.
Must-I. Yeah, I'll jump on board with that one. The must-I.
And let's see. So outside of that, definitely make sure you guys are using the chat feature today on YouTube. We don't have the text line.
Good point.
That's Olivia. She's got all that set up. So we don't have that today. So sorry.
Or we just all sent her hello at the same time.
Do that.
And she's not in the office today, so she'll randomly get a bunch of hellos.
Yeah.
That could be fun too.
Say the boys told me to say hello.
But if you have questions you're trying to get answered,
the chat.
Try to use the live chat or the live chat feature through YouTube. That way we can actually see it. Obviously, if there's any follow-up questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to us at our normal numbers. Or the Facebook group.
Again, I definitely have seen recently, too, if you're trying to get a hold of us, live chat seems to be getting a good uptick recently. And we love that because the phones are crazy right now. You guys are super busy. Feel free to hop over on that live chat and give us a holler.
And Tuesdays is, again, the day for the boys. Tuesday, Clayton and I run live chat. So
I forget that. We do a lot of stuff together.
Yeah, we do. We are pretty much conjoined at the hip. Like, we don't find one without the other. So if you're needing some answers or whatnot, live chat's a great feature. Definitely recommend that. And if you're specifically looking to talk with the mustache men, then this is
that's the place.
That's the place to be. It's Tuesday. Look, we got Brian in here, which means it's probably 10 a.m. and we should go ahead and get started.
Let's kick it off.
Let's see here.
So today, we've obviously said today's a cafe group takeover. So we're here to answer some major questions that we've gotten this AEP so far, and then throw out a few reminders towards the end of things to make sure that you're being aware of as we wrap up AEP. I think Joanne the other day mentioned that there's only, now probably 33 business days left of the year.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And, that hurts.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely a shock. It's like the cold water when you're in bed gets thrown on you. You're like,
that's 34 days.
Not only the month, we're here midway through November, but we are so close to the end of 2022, and man, has it been a blur and a half.
It's been a blur, and we've had a lot of the same kind of questions or similar questions that we wanted to address with you all today. But we also want to see some main things that you all are running into. So again, like we said in the pre-chat, we don't have the live or texting line today. Right. So please use the YouTube chat if you got questions, or holler at us after the fact. We can always help you out. But let's get into it.
What we are noticing.
What are we noticing, Ben?
A couple of different things. So obviously this year has been very different than a traditional year in the AEP and just the insurance industry as a whole. Medicare Center has been something that a lot of agents and ourselves have had to lean on. But truth be told, because they were going originally from trying to make it this platform, they were fixing fine-tuning, they were going to have this big release, and then the summer came.
Yeah.
June came.
And
everything
TPMO.
had to change. Exactly. TPMO, call recordings. And so, we're no stranger here at the office, and I'm sure agents here that, are tuning in are no stranger to these requirements now. And so it's something that we've adapted with. And so a lot of what we've been seeing, and I know, Medicare Center, I've heard from agents that the call recordings and the calling aspect hasn't actually been as as scary as originally that they were thinking it was going to be. So I'm glad to hear that part. But obviously, it's technology. Yeah. Technology is only helpful when it benefits itself. And so technology
when it works, it's great.
Exactly. Is the guy in the corner just waiting to mess up a couple of things. So anticipate some some glitches, anticipate some bumps in the road.
Yeah, so a little bit of lag or latency is something we've seen a 100%. Lot of. It just takes some time sometimes. Everybody's out there trying to use this platform to quote and enroll, so there's a ton of people on it, and it does slow the servers down sometimes. Haven't seen that so much lately. That was mainly that first week of AEP when everyone was full booked up that 100%. Whole first week.
Yeah.
But like Ben said, it's been a lot of positive stuff about the call recordings being a lot easier than once you get in there and played around with it, 100%. It seemed to be a lot easier. So the main question I've gotten about that, though, is just where are my contacts? Yeah. Because a lot of them were supposed to be ported over. Yep. But there was some issues. Basically, what we ran into was you had to have at least 3 pieces of qualifying information. Yep. So name, email, phone number. And if you didn't have that info, then it wouldn't get ported over 100%. From Medicare app to Center.
And even further on that, I think Medicare app, a lot of the clients' prescription drugs that were originally tied to the client profile are still in lieu to be transferred over. They were primarily trying to get client information and client profiles created in the new platform, and now they're going back through and still trying to see if it's possible. I know it's taken a long time. Yeah. But they are dealing with so much data points. And I think Olivia's mentioned here on the cafe before, this platform is the worst it's ever going to be right now. And if you can get through the next couple month and a half until the end of the year with this platform, this time next year, it will not even be, it won't even look like the same platform. Right. So if you're able to conduct business now, it's only going to get easier from here. And part of conducting that business is going to be the provider and drug formularies. I know we've seen some discrepancies, whether that's between Medicare.gov, Medicare Center versus Medicare app, which for those of you who may not be familiar is Connecture. So a lot of those different platforms, a lot of that is honestly how the carriers uploaded it to the platforms. Right. And so Medicare Center and Medicare app have found some of those discrepancies. On the bright side, we bring this to the light now, but it's already being addressed. They are pretty positive that they've found the exact issue that was causing these discrepancies and have already put in some hot fixes for that. So if you're noticing provider or drug formulary differences, first take a second. It's going to be okay. Breathe. And then let's go ahead and try to find another route, which I'll let kind of Clayton talk a little bit more into about, where can we go to make sure?
Yeah. And for all you people out there who are still using Medicare.gov as like your main quoting source to run your prescription drugs, because there's a lot of those folks still out there, know that it could still be accurate, maybe, possibly some of the times, but the best place to go is always going to be the carrier portals.
100%.
And the main reason for that is because everyone's getting their information and data from the carriers. Mm-hmm. So where do the carriers upload it first? to their own platform,
They're
right?
selfish. They're just selfish people. They're
That's
selfish.
it. We figured it out. Cracked the case. But to be serious, this whole Medicare Center, Medicare.gov discrepancies, anytime you feel like something could be off, check the carrier portal. If you've kind of narrowed it down to a couple different carriers that you're going with or want to look at going with, hop over to that carrier portal if you have any concerns at all. That's something that we check out all the time. A tool that we both Ben and I use all the time is our AEP toolkit, because it's just quick, really quick to be able to get to these carrier portals. So you click a logo, you scroll.
Yep, you scroll.
And then click on provider search or click on formulary search. And it'll take you straight to the carrier page where you're needing to run those. So you don't have to have all your different logins and everything saved up or different bookmarks. You can just click go, and it'll take you to the login page, and you're there.
I think it says a lot about a tool that when the people who helped created it or on the team who created it also use it itself.
Yep.
And so that's something we're helping agents with, and we're using that on a daily basis. I can anticipate that it will be beneficial to you one way or another. So definitely take a look at those. Let's see. Is there anything else here in the chat?
Just Brian.
Love
you, Brian.
Much love to Brian, indeed. No, honestly, I know we've seen in our Facebook group as well. And again, not to be over pluggy about that, but plug it, yeah, obviously. But we've had opportunities with agents coming through, and they will say, hey, we're noticing XYZ drug differences in this zip code. When you guys plug that in at our Facebook group, we can actually get that taken off and sent immediately to Integrity, immediately to the platform, and try to get those hot fix. The more instances that we're seeing and more instances we're having conversations with agents, hey, Lindsay, we're able to actually get that stuff sent off and get it fixed faster. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that if you're working and you're noticing these issues, take a screenshot, write down some of the information, either send it to your upline, send it to us. That way we can help you actually, get that taken care of.
For sure.
Instead of letting it lie down until the end of the year. So.
And outside of that, the other kind of main issue I know a lot of you all have been sending over is about the marketing versus communications. What needs disclaimers, what doesn't. Always just send those questions over to someone else to look at, right? If that be myself, that Ben, your upline, whoever it might be. Make sure you're sending those over, because better safe than sorry. I even said earlier on the Facebook page, I feel like the theme for this year is better safe than sorry.
100%. Yeah.
Of let's just take care of covering our own butts, right?
Yeah.
So keep sending those over. If you have any kind of other main questions, keep popping them in the chat. I got one here. Leads were mentioned. What's the cost for that? And we'll continue after AEP. So that's a really good question. Yeah. I think what you're leading on to asking about is that lead center platform that's 100%. Available through Integrity Partners. Costs vary. It just depends on what type you like. Basically, think of it like Amazon, but for leads. Yeah. Really cool. It's going to be out there forever now.
That's my understanding with it, Terry. Yeah, if you're specifically looking at Lead Center, it's going to be a platform that immediately integrates with Medicare Center. So all of the calls that you may be getting hot transferred over, or any of the data points and client profiles that you're purchasing on more of the data side, all that's coming from Lead Center, automatically imports into Medicare Center, so you have access to that, and it's made very easy to compliantly reach out to those leads. And the TPMO disclaimer is available for you. The recording disclaimer is available for you. The recording is held for the max amount of time. Everything is made very easy, and this is probably one of the first times that, as someone in this industry, can say that.
Yeah. Jalen just cried one single happy tear of compliance, because all those leads that are on there have already been vetted for compliance. And like Ben mentioned, it makes it so easy for you to stay compliant because it's all in a compliant platform. And I feel like we're selling Medicare Center amazingly, but there's other stuff we want to cover as well today.
100%. Yeah, and actually, one of the things that, Terry, you're bringing up leads and bringing up the cost and kind of what that's going to look like. We have something that might be able to benefit you specifically, Terry, and other agents in the area, and that's going to be bonuses and cross-selling. So Clayton is our person to go to with the background that he comes from. I'm going to let him take this away. I may touch on a little bit towards the end, but honestly, this is his forte, and I'm going to let him take away with it.
So carriers love giving away money in the fourth quarter, right? So everyone right now is looking at AEP, and when those checks start to hit is in the first quarter. So everyone's out here writing Medicare Advantage products that they know they're not going to get paid on right away.
Yeah.
So how do you budget yourself as a business? How do you want to keep going about making money that will serve you right now? And there's a few different paths. Obviously your med sup clients are still going to be there.
Yeah.
And carriers love to give away money, like I said, in the fourth quarter. So check the different products that are competitive in your area. Your upline probably has a good list out there somewhere. I know we do on our SMS page of different contests that are going on. And this could get you some extra money in your pocket to kind of supplement what's going to come in the first quarter.
Not even to mention, there are some even a little bit more exclusive bonuses or anything like that may be going through specifically with your upline. So definitely, worth it is worthwhile me recommending it to you to reach out to your upline to see what bonuses may be going on, because they may be working with carriers specifically on exclusive bonuses that going throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, so a couple that I'll mention. I don't want to throw out a ton of names to you because it's going to be very specific to what you're needing. But I know Aetna has recently changed up their cancer commissions. So a lot of the stuff that you're doing right now with your MA appointments could still benefit from a cancer policy. So definitely check those out. And then as well as GTL, every fourth quarter puts on an amazing bonus. I think they give you about $25 per application, up to like $60 per application you're submitting. So not only are you getting paid on that HIP plan, you're getting paid that little extra bonus. And then in the first quarter, you got your MA coming in.
Yeah.
So lots of extra money out there. Also, make sure you're doing your HRAs with the clients.
Yeah.
Those VBEs, whatever the acronym they like to put out there, make sure you're doing them.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, one thing too, the carriers like to get these completed, especially for the dual special needs folks.
Yeah, it's even required, I think, by CMS that any person who is on a dual special needs plan, they have to go through one of those health risk assessments. And so if your client isn't someone who likes to get carrier calls, be proactive about that. Not only are you going to receive a little bit of commission or a little bit of value from taking the time out of your day to get that taken care of, but then your client doesn't have to worry about answering a carrier call, because they will continue to call until that assessment is completed. So,
and that's something too I hear a lot on the phones. Agent calls in and say, hey, my client is still getting calls from this carrier, and they don't like that, right? Cut that off. Just go ahead and help them complete that form then.
Yeah.
And Ben mentioned something that's really cool, an exclusive med sup bonus that here at Senior Marketing Specialist is going on right now. Missouri folks have an option to write med sup policies with the AARP, get a little extra money. I believe it's only on Plans G and Plan N. Correct. You can always reach out for more information. I won't bore you guys with all the details. But some really cool things. Your upline might have something going on specific to them as well. So always ask, and we'll kind of just jump right into the next thing here.
Which is kind of a thorn in the foot. We went from compliance back to money, and now we are going to touch a little bit more on compliance. And this is specifically going to be directed towards any of our Aetna MA contracted agents who may be tuning in here today. Recently, you probably had received an email from Aetna outlining that they're going to be basically how they're going to be handling the new TPMO requirement moving forward, and specifically it's how you are disclosing your subcontracted relationships. So yes, you got this email, but I have been running into where some of the agents who were supposed to haven't. So that's why we're trying to, pretty much. That's why we're trying to make it, it is a big deal because the deadline is today.
Yep.
It was sent out towards the last week of October, first week of November, so they didn't give you necessarily a whole bunch of time. And so basically all this outlines is it's a disclosure that's required for any relationships that are being compensated to perform any activities related to marketing, lead generation, or enrollment activities. Now, if you're looking for some examples on what those may be, we'll dive into that, saying it's lead companies, marketing companies, social media management, CRMs that include marketing functions.
Our prospect boss people.
Yep. Virtual assistants.
Or agency block. No, Prospect Boss is
Prospect
leads.
Boss, yes.
That you have
Agency
to do that
Block
one too.
is CRM. So that both, honestly, potentially even both of them.
Both of them.
Virtual assistants, appointment setters, and non-licensed staff that process applications. So those are some examples. Obviously, anything that pertains to what we mentioned earlier, marketing, lead generation, or enrollment activities, you have to disclose those subcontracted relationships. And all of that came out to be because of the TPMO that was passed this summer. This isn't new. This is just how Aetna is planning on pretty much just taking care of it. Yeah. Obviously, it's the carrier's responsibility to make sure that the agents that are contracted with them and licensed to sell their products are staying compliant. And Aetna's way of making sure that you guys are doing just that is with a form that that has been released out. So if you do engage with any of these subcontracted relationships or carriers or programs or anything like that, then you need to fill out this form as soon as possible.
Also, if you don't do any of these things, still fill out the form.
True.
It takes like 45 seconds, couple minutes at 100%. Most, especially if you don't do any of those things. Mm-hmm. You're literally filling out your name, your contract number, something like that, and you're done.
Yeah.
I know on our blog post that we posted recently, which is on the Facebook page, shameless plug time, that we posted out there where you can quickly get to that form to get it submitted. Like Ben said, it's due today, yep. So make sure that if you're here and listening and contracted with Aetna Medicare Advantage. So that means if you're selling their MA plans or your SilverScript plans. Mm-hmm. So a lot of folks that don't do Medicare Advantage but do the PDPs, make sure that you know if you're a SilverScript agent, then you're also a Medicare Advantage agent in the eyes of Aetna. So you got to fill out this form.
Yeah, and I know it's another form that we have to take care of for compliance, but Aetna has made this very easy. It's an online form that you can go through and submit. Brian even says it took him about 8 seconds, so it's very, 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 very simple. If Brian can do it in 8 seconds, I would imagine the average the average agent could probably do it in 4. So, yeah. No, much love to you, Brian. No, and then that's perfect. I mean, it's outlining this agent. It's a simple form. You can get it taken care of. Yep. It is due today. And as far as I don't want to go into consequences because I would rather just every agent just take care of it. But if the consequences, as usual, is typically a part of like up and including termination.
Right.
Will they terminate? We don't know. They won't really let us know. But it is up to and including termination. Yeah. And is it worthwhile 8 seconds on a form for Aetna to potentially lose out on your contract with them? I'm going to vote no.
I'll vote no as well.
Okay,
and
that's
here's the
2
positive
no's
spin.
From us, dog.
Here we go. It's a no from me, dog. The positive spin on this is everything that we've been asking 100%. For, right? We, as FMO who likes to have our direct agents succeed, right? We don't succeed unless you all succeed. And I know a lot of the times the big call centers, the huge agencies that are able to throw money at these commercials all the time, the Joe Namaths of the world, have been kind of what we look at as getting away with more than the average agent can.
Yeah.
So all this TPMO stuff, just keep in mind, as annoying as it might be or as painful as this 8-second form might sound, this is all that we've been asking for, is to make it an even playing field and have everybody go through the same kind of, I don't know how to say it other than rigmarole.
Hoops
is a lot better than rigmarole.
No, I'm a backtrack, redact my hoops, and would go with rigmarole.
So they got to go through the same rigmarole. But what this is, like I said, this is just another way for them to kind of keep everyone in check. Aetna's the first to do this. There'll probably be some more carriers that follow similar suit. Mm-hmm. This is something where also Ben mentioned, if you do these things, fill out the form. If you don't do these things, fill out the form. And let's say Q1, you start to get a new lead generation platform. Within 30 days, you just add that onto this form, so keep it handy. But make sure you guys are checking that out. That's the big thing.
And even further on, 30 days from adding it, but also if you decide to terminate a relationship, you have 30 days to submit the form again. So this is a requirement from CMS. That's being outlined. It's exactly what we asked for. So quick overview on Aetna, that TPMO, because it is due today. So if you take anything away from this cafe and you're an Aetna MA agent, please, please, please take home that this form is due today and needs to be done. It was emailed to you. We're happy to get you the subject line if you need it.
On the blog of the Facebook post.
Also true. Just join our Facebook group because you'll always be in the know then.
Really fast.
Very monotone. If you do use these subcontracted relationships, do the form. If you don't have these subcontracted relationships, do the form. It is due today, and we don't want you to be uncompliant in the eyes of the carrier. So very, very important. So do.
All right. Last thing we got for you guys is a couple quick reminders as you were wrapping up Q4 and wrapping up AEP. We want to make sure that you're starting to check those applications. We're getting ready to hit the holiday season with Thanksgiving coming up. So start looking at the ones that you've already sent out. See if they're processed. See if they're missing anything. But don't stop that now. Keep checking up until the end of AEP.
We know with AEP, last app wins. It would be terrible for a client that you helped in the first week or two of being able to write AEP plans and Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plans to find out, come January that somebody else had reached out to them. So constant contact with your clients, making sure they're well taken care of, and check on those applications. If you're seeing anything weird, reach out to your upline, see if they can do anything for you. I know I've already started to take a look at a couple of applications for our agents just to make sure that they're agent of record and they're effective 411, that there are no issues, because you won't be able to do much fixing come after the 7th.
Unless they're in a service area that has been reduced. So the service area reduction, or SEP, starts to come into effect here soon. So big one that I know of down towards Springfield area in Missouri, a Essence product had moved out of the area. So those folks are without a home. They need some new plans. So a lot of our agents have been working on client retention. The first half, where's my screen? The first half of AEP. The second half of AEP, they're focusing on new prospects. So this is where it gets fun, but this is also where we need to check those apps, check any SEPs that are available. And then, of course, the next point really fast is your med sup folks that might need to be switching PDPs. If they're needing to switch those PDPs, make sure you're doing it now. If they're switching the med sup, just to make sure if they're going off of Medicare Advantage and they had to go through underwriting, make sure those are getting processed, because if they don't, you need to get them back on a Medicare Advantage plan. You got now to do it. So please be careful with that. Check on those. Check the apps. Check any SEPs. Check the guaranteed issue. Checkity, check.
Check.
Do we cover everything?
I think that's a lot of checking.
Dang it, Ben, I set you up to say check.
Check. Waiter, check, please.
I've said earlier today, I believe my life is one ongoing bit.
I'm for that.
But that's really all we got for you guys today. If you have any more questions, make sure you're popping them into the comments. I'll plug the Facebook page one last time here. Go like it.
If you must.
I have to. I feel obligated as someone who invests time into it.
That makes sense.
But like I said, with that Aetna TPMO thing, we are able to get it out a little quicker. We're able to do videos and stuff. Ben's able to do posts very fast on these things. So definitely keep checking them out. But if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and work through this here sign-off.
And if there's not questions, take the time. We are we are in the 5th week of AEP. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Now is the time where we see agents end up in the hospital, in the urgent care, sick. 'Tis the season, both for Christmas and the flu. So make sure.
Two very unfortunate. Like, one's very good season. One's
but you were saying bad. Christmas
is an unfortunate season. Lots of trees everywhere. Trees in the houses.
For people who are scared of trees,
it's a
terrible time. But just making sure you're taking care of yourself. Reach out to loved ones. Make sure they are well. Now is also a season to be thankful. So as crazy as the industry that we live in and work in, that there's also plenty to be thankful. And if that's not, Clayton for me or me for Clayton, then it's an FMO for your agents. Find the people that you're thankful for and find some business partnerships or whatnot. But with that being said, that's pretty much all we have. There's something that is usually mentioned towards the end here.
The sign-off. I remember it.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you do, because I have never been on the cafe, so I'm not familiar with this.
Olivia, every time when I've helped her with the cafe, she's made me make sure I know what this is.
Okay.
So I remembered it. I've got it, and we're ready to go. We'll get you guys back out there. But better ingredients,
Better pizza.
Medicare
Cafe.
Got it.
Something is telling me that might not be the correct one because
I did have Papa John's last night, so it could be it. But
we'll run it back.
Let's try this again. We know it.
Have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. Thanks, y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Where's the end?
I think it's on YouTube.
Is it on YouTube?
Maybe.
No, it's right here. Stop streaming.
Bye guys.